Hey, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Sandy. Yes, I'm an hour late, and I'm not sorry because I was out really late last night. Yes, last night was the concert that I told you I was living for, my birthday present from my sugar free daddy. I went to see Jackson Brown opening for James Taylor. Unbelievable. I wanted to cry through the whole thing because it was just all that, you know? I mean, it was all that and more. First of all, it started at 7:30 and we didn't get out of our seats. Well, except to stand up and scream until 11 o'clock. Yeah. Yeah. And then it took us 35 minutes to get out of the parking lot. And then we had to get home. And I went to bed really, really late last night. Well, for me, really, really late anyway. And so I'm late and I apologize, but I'm not sorry because it was awesome. Except for the parking. Parking was miserable. And can I have just a little bit of a rant here for a minute about parking? What's the deal on parking? It should be part of your ticket price. That's my feeling. Parking was $35, and the people who parked across the street in the shopping center parking lot and walked into the concert paid nothing. And they, I think, were actually closer to the doors than we were. That's just insane. And when we went to see the Eagles a few weeks ago, regular parking at the Fabulous Forum in Los Angeles was $45. VIP parking was $60. Parking. Parking at Disneyland is like that. It's either $60 or $80 for VIP parking at Disneyland, and I believe it's $40 for regular parking there too. It's like, are you kidding me? You're paying all this money to get into the venue, and you're paying all that money for parking on top of it? Okay, my rant is over. I'm sorry. No more rant because honestly, the show was it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Talk about making a whole crowd of people happy. So Jackson opened. Honestly, I didn't recognize him. I think we all got older. Yeah. His voice was called the Pachanga Arena in San Diego. Huge. I don't think there were a lot of good seats in the house because it was like an arena. It wasn't like a concert venue. So nobody was like really close except maybe the first 3 rows by the stage. But the sound was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. I mean, it was like being at a concert. No, seriously. The sound was crazy. It was crazy. Okay. Yesterday before I left, I went to see Fritzy because I knew that, I wouldn't be able to hang out. So I went to at least just go see her. And I took her some eclairs. And she was very happy. We had a wonderful short visit. But Indy had me take all the extra candy, and oh, there was a lot of extra candy left over from Halloween. One full bag, like this big, of all different kinds of Hershey stuff, and then one that was assorted little mini treats of different kinds of candy. And I said to him, "No, I'm not gonna take them. They probably have more candy than they know what to do with." I would like to publicly acknowledge that he was right and I was wrong. The candy was such a huge hit. I left a whole bunch at the front desk and then I took the rest back into the staff in memory care. They were all so happy with the candy. Hey, the sun is coming up. I wonder if I can just like bring you this over here. Yeah, there we go. I'm at my friend Jeff's house. It's a great, great house. You can't really get the whole feel of it from this, but the kitchen's awesome. It's like the kind of kitchen everybody wants, right? Yeah. Anyway, I'll drive home later. It's about 2 hours, 2.5 hours from here. I'll go home later this afternoon. So tomorrow I'll be doing this from home again. But for now, here I am in Escondido, California, which is about a half an hour from San Diego and about 2 hours from Palm Desert or from Bermuda Dunes. This is Jeff's cup. Isn't this great? And yet, despite the look on my face, you are still talking? Okay, whatever. So today, oh, there's so much today. There's so much today. Um, there's a life lesson I need to share with you first. I am in an environment that is not my environment, and I wanted my coffee. And there's a Keurig machine across the room from me, and it didn't no pods. I mean, I had to fill the little pod thing with the most delicious vanilla macadamia nut Kona coffee. I don't ever drink flavored coffees, but I got to tell you, this stuff is good. Anyway, I tried to I tried to make the coffee. I couldn't figure out how to turn on the machine. There's like 3, 4 buttons on the front. It was kind of dark, I admit it, and I didn't have my glasses on, so I didn't know what the buttons were, but I tried each button and nothing happened. No, nothing. Anyway, I finally figured it out. It took me quite a while. There's a button on the back to turn it on, and then you regulate what you want from the front. So I turned it on, and it said, "Not ready." And you could see that the water and you could hear that the water was warming up, right? And every time I walked by, it said, "Not ready, not ready." And I thought, "Not ready? I'm ready." And then I had this aha, this life lesson experience. Life is not ready for you until you declare that you are ready. So I said, "I'm ready." And even though it said not ready, what it meant was it's not ready because you didn't push the button to go yet. So I pushed the go button, baby, and I got a cup of coffee. And it occurred to me that life is like that. I remember years ago, one of my husbands and I wanted to buy a house. We thought we were ready to buy a house. Business was good. We had 2 little kids. We wanted to buy a house. So we talked to our accountant and we said, "We want to buy a house." And he said, "You're not ready to buy a house." And we said, "We're not?" He said, "No, no, no. You have to have more money before you buy a house. You're not ready to buy a house." And every time we asked him for over a year, he said, "You're not ready. You're not ready. You're not ready." And finally, one day we were having coffee and I said, "This is ridiculous. We are ready." And he looked at me, I swear to you, and he said to me, "Oh, okay, then buy a house." How many times in life has something like that happened to you? Because I got to tell you, it happens to me. And each time I forget that I'm the guy who's got to be ready. And when I'm ready, I get into action and I do whatever it is that I said I wanted to do. That's my story for today. Get ready, be ready, do it. Just do it. Get into action. All right, it's Cookie Monster Day. Cookie. I love cookie. Um, it's Skeptics Day. I'm not really sure about that one. Get it? Did you see what I did there? It's Skeptics Day, but I'm not really sure. But okay, forget that. Let's see. It is Dynamic Harmlessness Day. I thought that was like, yeah, it's a holiday that celebrates the birthday of, I forgot his name, who is the vegan king. And he says, don't eat animals. And so it's Dynamic Harmlessness Day. So if you're vegan, I salute you. This is your day. Here's a weird one. Look for Circles Day. Yeah, why? I don't know. Circle, circle, circles under my eyes. Um, I used to be a teacher. I guess I'm still a teacher. I mean, once you're a teacher, aren't you a teacher? Yeah, I'm a teacher. So I used to work with little kids and we used to teach them shapes. We used to look for shapes in nature. And that's really what this day is. So what can you learn by finding circles? Get all philosophical on me today. Look for circles. I was in the balloon business for over 30 years, and I used to laugh and say, I don't understand why. I don't really like balloons. And after a while, I didn't even like anything that was round. Look for circles. It's it says it's National Deviled Egg Day, but didn't we celebrate that yesterday? I mean, come on, seriously, folks. How many days does a deviled egg get? But as a thank you to my host, my sugar-free daddy, for taking me to the concert and out to dinner last night, Indy and I gave him a dozen of the eggs from the girls at home. Yeah. How cool is that? To be able to bring a dozen fresh eggs, green and brown assorted, as a house gift. He doesn't drink wine, so, eggs, right? Okay, I love this. Today, right now, is Plan Your Epitaph Day. Come on, you want to. So some people might think this is kind of a, ew, kind of an icky holiday, a little depressing. Some of you, especially you control freaks, will love this holiday because you're the one who gets to decide what it's going to say on your headstone. It's also an opportunity to really get introspective, I think. And like, how can you describe yourself in just a few words that'll fit on a headstone? I looked up famous headstones and I found a few for you just to get you started, give you some ideas. This is my favorite. Mel Blanc. Mel Blanc. Bugs Bunny, Mel Blanc. His headstone says, "That's all, folks." I know, right? Rodney Dangerfield, his said, "There goes the neighborhood." I know. Okay, this one really cracked me up because it's Merv Griffin's headstone, and you don't think about Merv Griffin as being a funny guy, right? Of course, we don't know if he made it up or someone in his family did, but his headstone says, "I'll be right back after this message." I'm sorry, I love that. And then there were quite a few that just simply said, "I told you I was sick." Yeah. So my dad, who many of us referred to as Lovable Lenny, because a lot of the time he wasn't. um, yeah, somebody said about my father, he wasn't always nice, but he was always fair. And that's true. He was always fair, very rational, very fair, very smart. He loved us three kids. He loved us. He just didn't like us. No, he didn't like children. We happen to be children. Go figure. Anyway, he was awesome. He was awesome. We all learned so much from him. He was yeah, he was the patriarch, no question. So when it was time to do his headstone, Jews don't normally put the picture of the person who's in the grave on the headstone. But my mother really wanted a photograph of him on the headstone. So I went to the rabbi, I got permission, we got he said, "Yes, if that's what you want to do, there's nothing in the law that says you can't do that, so go do it." So we did. We put his picture on the headstone. And it says, "Lovable Lenny, we love you. We miss you. You were right." If you knew Lovable Lenny, you were right, he would want to get that last word in. There's no question about it. So today's the day that you get to take a look at your life, take a look at yourself, and plan your own headstone, right? Get your own epitaph going here. It's also, this is cool. It's Practice Being Psychic Day. Now, I was being funny, and what I was going to tell you to do is just all day long, no matter what anyone says, just go like this. I knew that. I knew that. I knew that. So that's one way to practice being psychic. But then there's this site I went to that's called intuitivesoulsblog.com, Develop Your Psychic Abilities. There were like 25 different things to do. I copied down a few of them to share with you. Meditate. They say meditating is one of the best ways to develop your psychic abilities. The whole idea being You've got all this power that you're not using, intuitiveness, and I don't know. Although I kind of like the yeah, I knew that. Yeah, I knew that. Okay, but wait, there's more. Um, meditate. I told you that. And it said while you're meditating, get in touch with your animal guide, your spirit guide, because you'll be able to invoke them and like hang out with them a little bit, get to know them a little bit. There's a thing called, why does it keep doing that? I'm not making that noise. Are you hearing that noise? Anyway, there's a thing called psychometry, and it's where you read the energy of an object. Like you pick up, oh, I don't know what's near me. Oh, this is probably a really good one. I pick up one of my hearing aids and I hold it in my hands and close my eyes. I don't even want to do it because honestly, I'll go off. I will. I will go off if I do that. But the whole idea is you hold something in your hands, close your eyes, and see what kind of pictures come up, what kind of story comes up. You know where else you can do that? It suggests you can go to like a vintage store and do that in a vintage store. What a cool idea. Pick up an old object and see what comes up. You can do that with old family pictures. They call it reading people. You can do it with photographs. Yeah. Then there's this thing called flower visualization. They suggest that you get like just a cheap bouquet, but the assorted flowers they say works best. And you stare at the flowers for a while and then close your eyes and think of one of those flowers until you can get a, let it go and go on to the next flower. And supposedly this stuff is it's gonna get you to, like be psychic. I'm very excited. I'm gonna try some of this stuff. Then there's that whole third eye thing. Okay. All right. A side note. This is supposed to be a forehead, right? No, not on me. One of the reasons I am so short, I can't believe I am doing this, and you can all see this forever. My son says if I had a neck, because see, my neck is really short too. If I had legs and a neck and a forehead, I would be regular height. Just the forehead would bring me to almost 5 feet, right? But instead of a forehead, that's the whole thing. There's nothing there. I have a two head. That's it. He says I have a two head, not a forehead. Okay, moving right along. Your third eye sits right here on your two head or your forehead, right in the middle. And they suggest that you close your eyes, these two eyes, and concentrate on seeing with your third eye. Seriously, I'll go into a trance if I start doing this stuff. I might do it later, but not while I'm driving. And you could just walk in nature. Oh, you can spend more time with your pet because supposedly pets read your mind. And maybe you could start reading your pet's mind. Yeah. Speaking of which, where's Bailey? They have a Bailey dog here too, but it's a girl. And I think she's a pit bull or something. She looks really scary and she's built like a tank. And she is the sweetest, most wonderful dog. She's just delightful. She's also taking a little nap right now, so I don't want to bother her. Okay, what else? I've spent so much time on this stuff. There's barely time for anything else. But I think it's interesting to note, since I went to see James Taylor last night, that on this date in 1972, James Taylor and Carly Simon got married, but they didn't just get married. They got married on the same day that they were doing a show together, and they announced it at the show, and people went crazy. They announced that they had just gotten married that day. They were together for like 11 years. Good stuff. What else? Let's see. In 1988, this guy named Robert Tappan Morris, he was a youngster, I think. He developed the first internet worm, and he didn't do it to crash computers, but like 10% of all computers on the planet crashed from his worm. It was an experiment, he said, that went wrong. He just wanted to see how many computers there were on the internet. Yeah, it didn't quite work. Yeah. 1947 was the first and only flight of the Spruce Goose. The Spruce Goose was this enormous plane that was supposed to hold, like, I don't know, 700 plus passengers. And it was built by Howard Hughes, Hughes Aircraft. It was built by Howard Hughes right before the war. And because it was wartime, it was built entirely out of wood instead of aluminum, because you couldn't use aluminum because they needed it for the war effort. Anyway, it was this enormous plane. On this day in 1947 was its first and only flight, and it only flew for 1 mile. Now, why do I even care about the Spruce Goose? I care about it because many years ago, I believe he was still alive at the time. They decided to move the Spruce Goose to a home in Long Beach. Yeah. So when they moved it, they wanted to have a big opening for the public and, to like make a big splash. And they hired my company to do balloon arches everywhere. The arch that went over the plane was probably the biggest arch we ever had to build because the plane was so huge. So we did this massive decorating job for the Spruce Goose. That in itself was pretty cool. But the coolest part was we got tours and nobody else was there. Yeah, we got to walk through the plane. I got to tell you, it was like walking through, like any other giant building that happened to fly. What can I say? Do you know who Jenny Lind was? The Swedish Nightingale. She was a little singer. She actually sang for on shows for Ringling Brothers, like with the circus. But she was like very proper and beautiful young lady. She did 93 concerts. I said Ringling Brothers, but part was P.T. Barnum at the time. Anyway, she earned over $350,000 doing those concerts. That's a ton of money back in the 1800s. And she donated it to charity. So this is the anniversary of her death. She did a lot of good stuff. So I salute her. Also, George Bernard Shaw. George Bernard Shaw wrote Pygmalion, which eventually became My Fair Lady. Probably one of my favorite shows of all time. Won a Nobel Prize, won an Oscar. Yeah. And his quote was, I love this, life isn't about finding yourself. It's about creating yourself. You've heard that line before, but did you know it was George Bernard Shaw? Probably not. Okay. Baby shark, boom, 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 boom. Talk about an earworm. Mama shark, boom, 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 boom. Baby Shark. Yes, Baby Shark by Pink Fong. Pink Fong was the #1 watched video in the world with over 7 billion viewers worldwide. If you just want to smile, if you just need to smile today, just go on YouTube. This YouTube, yeah, the one we're on right now, the one that's got everything pretty much. Go to YouTube and watch Pink Fong Baby Shark. Just type in Baby Shark. It's going to come up. There are these adorable little kids. Baby Shark, boom, 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 boom. Mama Shark, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's awesome. Yeah, I don't care how old you are. You don't have to be a kid. It's really cool. What else? Oh, okay. Just to kind of counteract Baby Shark, Thriller also was released today. Well, today in 1983, but you get the idea. Cubs won the World Series today in 2016. First time in 108 years. Didn't we just talk about this the other day? Did they have their dates wrong? Maybe that was when the World Series began and they won it. Today apparently is the day they won it. So go Cubs. Tommy Edwards, 1958. I personally never heard of him, not by name anyway. But he had a number one hit that was co-written by Charles Dawes, who was the vice president under Calvin Coolidge. And coincidentally, Calvin Coolidge became president because Warren Harding died of a heart attack, and today is Warren Harding's birthday. Whew. And it's all connected. So what was the song he wrote? I can't remember how it starts. And it's all in the game. Yeah. That was back in 1958. A lot of people have covered that song. And also, please love me forever. Don't forget me never. Yeah, he wrote that too. I don't know if he wrote that, but Tommy Edwards sang it. The Archies' number one song in 1964, Sugar, nah, 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 honey, honey. Anyway, Sugar, Sugar. Creedence Clearwater Revival. Yep. Down on the corner. Down on the corner. I don't have the rights to it, so I'm not going to sing it. Yeah. Good morning, Stephen. You found me. I know it's not easy to find me when I do this, but you can always watch replays of YouTube because I post it as soon as I'm done. I post how to find it. You just can't make live comments. You can comment afterwards, though, and I can, share with you. Stevie Wonder had a number one hit with You Haven't Done Nothing. That was interesting in itself, but here was the trivia that I picked up about that one. He had his number one song, You Haven't Done Nothing, in 1974, but his backup was the Jackson 5. Yeah, they were new at Motown. They were the new kids on the block, so to speak. 2016, age 26, Taylor Swift became the highest paid female in music. She earned $170 million just that year. Oh, what does my mug say? You missed the beginning. And yet, despite the look on my face, you're still talking. This is like such the perfect mug for my host. I can't tell you. All right. The word art for today. This was another one of those ahas that I had the other day, kind of like the not ready. Like you're not ready until you say you're ready, and then you can do anything because you declared you were ready. So it's like that. Make today the best day so far. I love adding the words so far at the end of my sentences now, because what it implies is that as good as this is, it's just the best so far. There's something even better coming. Talk about it. Expect miracles attitude, huh? Yeah, I expect miracles. So the miracles I get today are the best miracles so far. And the best is yet to come. Yeah, so let's find out if that's true tomorrow. Check in with me tomorrow. I will be back at home. Indy, darling, I will see you tonight. And I will see you all tomorrow, right here, except on time, I would assume. Until then, good morning, good night, I love you, have a sip, and a smile. See ya, bye-bye.